One of my biggest pieces of advice for when you're coming into university and figuring out your finances is apply to everything. There's a lot of scholarships where you may think it's really intimidating because, oh my gosh, it's worth this much or it's so selective. But there's also a lot of other people who think that too, and that may prevent them from applying. The worst thing they can say is no, and it's always worth it to take that little bit of time and apply because you never know.
I do all my applications for the awards through the online portal. Pretty easy to just scroll through the whole list. I generally apply for all the physics awards and then the general bursary ones.
It was nice that they could then say, hey, I see all these different things about what you filled out so far. You are also eligible for this, this, and that, which made it really nice and streamlined.
Some you have to write an essay on, some you just have to do a story about yourself, and some are just recommended to you.
The way I was able to find the general bursary was just by information that was sent out through the university, as well as through the Aboriginal Student Service Centre. They're always on top of making sure that students are finding all the funding they can and using their resources.
The online portal for student aid, the website's not great, but once you get in there, reapplying every other year is very, very easy. You're just modifying your initial application.
The nice thing with student aid is if you have any needs for accommodations or a disability, that they take that into consideration. If you have dependents, they take that into consideration. So then sometimes you might get a little bit more.
A portion of them is also the Canada Student Grant money. So it's not that I'm taking on all of this debt. It's, some of it is money that's going straight to tuition.
Anytime I get an award or a bursary, after that, I try to put it towards my student loans, and the goal was to hopefully graduate with no student loans. And I'm not quite there, but I'm working on it.
One of the other things I also suggest is when finding work in school, find something that does help you in your degree. When I was figuring out what I wanted to do at the university in the summertime, I reached out to my professors, to different experts. There's a lot of people at the University of Winnipeg who are there to help you find work and help you find something that you're passionate about.
I personally have a job just because there are extras that I like to do. I would say if I didn't have a job, if I was just using loans, I would do a lot less.
It's helped me manage the external costs I have outside of school, including my phone bill, my car loan, and just personal expenses as well.
I've always had somewhat of a level of financial stress while in school.
When you got to focus on getting your bills covered, getting your rent covered, and whatever unforeseen costs come up, you can't put all of your emphasis and focus towards your education.
It'll happen around once a month where I'm like, I'm kind of stressed about this, so I will go and update my budget.
A budget in our house is something we find we have to just stay on top of all the time. Between my husband and I, it's a lot of communication and how are we doing and what's my budget for groceries this week?
I created this spreadsheet that just has month by month how much money I had, how much money I have. And what I kind of do is I split my money into how much is from loans and how much is the money that I've earned working. And that just kind of keeps me on track because I know how much my rent is and how much my food is, and I kind of know what I can spend and what I can't.
I try my very, very absolute best to put at least 50% of what I make to savings, and then the rest will go to bills and those extracurricular fun activities.
Usually my situation isn't as bad as I think it is, so really just kind of looking at what I have realistically and where I can spend makes me feel better about it.
Go talk to financial aid. I wish I had talked to them in my first year and just knew what I was able to do or what kind of resources I had at my fingertips.
Apply for absolutely everything because you don't know what you're going to be eligible for. As long as you're putting in the effort and putting yourself out there, making yourself visible, you're going to get a lot more support than you may think you have available to yourself. Reach out, the money's there.